All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order and welcome everybody to the City of Bremerton Parks and Recreation Commission. This is our regularly monthly meeting. Today is Tuesday, August 26th. Thank you everyone for being here. Appreciate it. First up, as we have our approval of our minutes from our last meeting, which was July 22nd. Commissioner McDonald, I would please ask that you abstain from yes. From voting and you were not here. Welcome, Commissioner Waterman.
We were trying to figure out, oh no, or we have to admit her.
It's so long. Sorry.
But I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting, July 22nd. I'll second. All right, we got a first and second on approving the minutes from last meeting. All in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye. Aye. All right, and that will pass unanimously. No, I'm sorry, we have one abstention. Thank you, Commissioner McDonald. My apologies.
Would move to approve the agenda with the amended item about the proposed PSC charging station site design.
Okay, thank you for reading it. I will second that motion to approve tonight's agenda with the new addition to the PSC charging station. All in favor of approving tonight's agenda, please say aye. Aye. All right, that will pass unanimously.
And that will be moved to item number 4 under staff reports.
Thank you.
That was a late information. Figured we be good to share.
All right, next up, we have public comment. So this is the folks, thank you for being here that are in attendance. If you would like to say, talk about anything that's not on tonight's agenda, please, now's the time. If you don't have anything, that's all right. Please identify yourself.
Pat Kerber, spoke here before.
Yeah, Mr. Kerber, thank you for being here. Floor is yours.
Wanted to point out, I was in the park with Ryan. A week or so ago, we were talking about the signs. When you pointed out that the sign had been put up, the park closed from dusk to dawn.
A park rule sign, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't actually go all the way down there to look at the sign, and it's not that sign, it's the sign that's up in other parts of the park, the no camping, no parking. Sign, so my suggestion is to take that sign down and put up, park closed, dusted on sign.
Yeah, thanks for double checking that. Appreciate it. I'll look at it.
Other than that, it's same old issues for Forest Ridge Park, and a lot of problems going on. We're using with the trash. That's all I'm ready.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, please, you could say it very soon.
Hey, my name is Kenny Billabong. It's not a question.
Kenny, thanks for being here again. Floor is yours, bud.
Thank you. I just stopped in again. Dilemma to place. Right now, we continue to play the whiskey workflow. It's not technically as smooth. All named by the nice fade around the security patrol that have grown a liking to us and snacks that we provide. We hope that we can find. Especially as we come closer to winter, summer's going out and we'd like to find somewhere that's coming. That's kind of probably hard to come by, but perhaps somewhere down the line we can. Your big parts to up to the public space that's. Yeah, new for us. That's it.
Thank you for being here.
Thank-
And I wanted to let you know, I read that article in the paper that was writing about you guys.
Yeah.
Bring some more people out.
Oh, yeah.
Get some, bring some attention to what you got going on.
Yeah. I mean,
Good.
Yeah, it's more awareness than right.
Yeah.
We do have a couple of tournaments in the regional area where Bremerton and South would be representing. So. Yeah, if we want more information about events and such, touch base with me afterward, but we'll be using games.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, has anyone joined online since?
Just the one attendee, I think it was there, and
Oh,
they're
okay.
they're just watching.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. All right. Next up, we have staff reports and updates. First up, we have Forest Ridge Park management concerns.
Okay, I'll kind of turn this one over to Brian for him to, since he was out at the park this last month to kind of take a look at some things and try to do some brainstorming. So, Brian.
Okay, yeah, back on the 13th, I met up with Catherine and a few folks around the neighborhood, and we had a great discussion, I thought, about some ideas and kind of some brainstorming of some potential things that we might be able to address to kind of curb some of the unwanted use of that park. I think we were able to come up with a couple of ideas. Were you able to speak with other folks and of the park and get any other insight?
There is, there was talk about wanting to have a gate that I don't know that that's gonna work. Just because of, like you were saying, like with fire or police, because there was an incident where they needed, police were in there. It's a couple weeks ago, you might, I don't know if it was in the paper, was it in the paper? Probably not. It was a big,
think it was.
It was the Friday before we met.
yeah, there was a big event where they had to close down the park. And they brought in dogs and drones and they were looking for somebody. So that, that's not saying that the park is bad because of that, but. What I'm finding, I've lived next to the park for 19 years now. It is the dynamics in this last year has been sort of a downturn. It's not for the good. Where they're all coming from, I don't know. There's a contingent of regular people that come in every day and just kind of park in their one spot. For the most part, they're okay, but we're getting a lot of people that go in to where that cul-de-sac is on the north end. And I kept thinking, because we talked about maybe putting some boulders or rocks there just to keep it from people driving up there. But then Brian pointed out, how would, like that emergency that happened, how would they get in there? They wouldn't be able to get in there with aides and the police and all that. So I know that long range plan way down the road is to get rid of that pavement in there and just make it forest. There's a lot adequate parking in there, but maybe in the meantime, the north end have a gate. So then the police can access it if necessary. That could be a start. I know that's not cheap. There's gotta be a way, because it isn't just the homeless going in there. There's drug dealers now, cars coming in and they're driving really fast. So I'm just thinking, in the meantime, how can we address this temporarily, just to keep it, to kind of tamp it down and make it safe? There was an incident yesterday, one of those homeless people, verbally, it was, and almost physically assaulted a guy I see all the time walking in there, and he called the police, but he chose not to press charges against him. I think, had I known, I would have recommended that. Anyway, that's, there. But I'm thinking, until we can get into the pros plan when it's Forest Ridge Park's turn, maybe just blocking off that back end and then more people be more visible. He had talked about maybe putting in some lights, more lighting. People don't they want to be hidden. So that's kind of what we were talking about.
Yeah, Colette and Tim and I were talking today about this exact subject and talking about some options and alternatives, and Colette has had a little bit of experience with this in the past as well. And so she's able to share some ideas with us today too. And so just really wanted to get your feedback today as we try to navigate the best way forward.
Yeah, because you look at the budget, how much do we have to spend? That does make a difference in that.
Because we can work on the logistics end of things, but that's not.
Okay.
Do we have any more, on kind of a side note, do we have any more information on the neighbor that uses the park for access from this property?
No, I was hoping maybe we could kind of have some sort of plan, an initial plan come from this meeting so then I can approach and have that conversation with him. I've talked with the mayor, with our city attorney, and if we do any sort of gate access, the city doesn't have an issue with allowing him access to that gate. It sounds like previously when we've had discussions or tried to look at putting boulders, the big concern was that they were just beyond his rear access driveway. And he didn't like that because people would then turn around in his driveway. And so it was kind of forcing people to utilize his space to turn around. So I don't think anything was done at that time, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
And I didn't print enough of those sheets unfortunately, but that was developed for a meeting here back in 2022. When we talked about it, so the proposals on here was bold. But what we were discussing today, and Greg and Dick could borrow yours.
Oh, yeah, please.
It's the top sheet.
Yeah.
So do all the commissioners have this? You guys can share it?
Yes.
Gosh, I really smart here, and maybe they're hiding under somewhere. Anyway, so the parking lot is identified with this dashed line here, and then across the road is the scout hall. What if we put a gate right there that the police has a key to, marked obviously, the neighbor would be used, and so it's not it stays closed. So it's not something that our staff is having to go manage and make sure that we're not locking anyone in. And then this road up here, what if we put Jersey barriers there? Prevent people from.
The diagonal road.
Yeah, yeah. So kind of a two-step solution trial.
I kind of like that. Cause that way people still can come in. You know, or not have to worry about. And then, you know, they come in before, like maybe when the restrooms aren't open yet, people still come in. That way they would just be. Where there's true parking, yeah,
Kind of front and center.
yes. So they're not.
There's no reason to go drive all the way to the back and,
Not anymore.
yeah.
Used to be, it was just people dog walking or having a picnic. It is not that way anymore. No. And it's a nice place for dumping. I know I just sent a picture to Carlos. I'm always apologizing, but he wants the pictures. Someone dumped,
Yeah.
they dumped, you know, and
Yeah, a gate is, I don't know what the cost would be, but the
Yeah.
cost of picking up all the dumb garbage adds up.
Yes.
So, yeah,
but then aid can still get in. If they need to open that gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can put a Knox box on there
Yeah.
and they'll have their own key.
Yeah.
So I know when you have like a lot building. There's. Access that the fire department uses to get out the box. you're
That's the
talking
Knox
Yeah,
box.
The Knox
yeah.
box,
about?
yes.
Okay, and is that something the police also have access to?
Usually it's just fire.
Must want that same. And build it up.
Yeah,
Probably could do it.
But that, it'll just determine how many locking mechanisms we'll
Yeah.
need.
And then the neighbor would have a key also. That's a plan.
They'd
that
be
would
issued
just be
one,
for
yeah.
after hours though, or that is a permanent lock, right?
There might be something like that. On the LED force access. Off of. If it's Sylvan, it's the northeast entrance, there's a road down to housing that goes through the park.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember if there's a gate there, it seemed like there was.
So was it's an electronic gate. That's electric. And it hasn't been working in a few years.
There's been so many problems here and you've been fighting stuff for so long, in terms of the health. Would be good. I think I gave that would be a good start. You know,
It's time for, I know eventually that was the plan, to eliminate that pavement and just make it all park and then on Hartford. Cause it used to be through roads
Mhm.
many years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's not. And so that way. Off of First Street, they can still get to the water tower and the phone tower when needed. And just make the approach there. And there is an approach there, so.
How big of a piece of street is on the other side there, on the other side of the barrier? I can't remember.
It's not that far.
No.
It used to be through Ford Street. and it
Yeah.
Turned into, and then they just made, there's a berm there. And people just turn around. And there's 2 picnic tables there. It's a nice little spot to sit.
I guess what I meant is on the other side, you know, on the street side,
Oh,
out of the park. Is that, I assume that's a dead end road, but I couldn't remember.
it
how
is a
big.
dead end road. Yeah,
So-
there's houses there.
So how many people park in that road?
You know, only the people that live there, you know,
Okay,
they,
good.
their company and that, so.
I did want to push some of our campers over there.
Well, no, and when it comes to illegal dumping too, I mean, if you have houses around, you're less likely to get.
They're gonna-
Property, yeah.
They're hidden, lots of folks, lots of trees. They're hidden. So every morning we go up there and Patty's part of the wonderful group that helps pick up trash and reports it. So then this would eliminate that, and then for the staff to have to come in and clean that up.
And then why, I just out of curiosity, you thought this through, I know. Why the gate here and why wouldn't you put it here?
The reason to put it there would be to allow, so, Commissioner Dobson was asking, why don't we put the gates out here versus behind the parking lot? And if it was here, then we would have to manage
Every.
closing it.
Okay,
We'd want to,
okay.
make sure we didn't lock anyone in,
Yeah.
and it would just create a lot more
That
hassle.
makes
Whereas if it's here, it just stays closed.
And that was my concern from a maintenance perspective is like, what do we do when we get there and somebody's in the woods?
Yeah.
You know, how do we lock that gate? You know, we can't.
Oh, okay, thank you for explaining that, Colette, because I was
Yeah.
under the assumption that this was gonna be a gate that we were gonna close like we do with other parks like dusk.
This
And
was
that's not the case. This is a permanent closure
Yeah.
Yes.
of part of what's now called Carol Aaron's Parkway.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just closing vehicular access.
Okay.
You
I'm
can
tracking
still
now. Okay,
through
thank you.
there.
Yeah, thank you for asking me.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same thing.
So, okay, just then. If you go, I mean, this is gonna be closed, so we won't have to worry about anything along here. Anymore. I mean, as far as.
As far as dumping,
As far as cars.
yeah.
I mean, that's the main thing. You won't have to worry about that.
That's the issue.
Okay,
It is the issue right now, dumping and then this homeless. I know that they're legally allowed to be in the park, that is, you know, for everybody, and during the day. They all leave at night. But we don't want them in there just doing what they're doing right now.
Yeah. Director, what would be the next step in this? Do you need a motion from this commission?
Yeah, so it'd be nice, we've got as an agenda item, if we could get a motion, recommendation for staff to, maybe. You can make it one motion, but it'd be great to put it in writing to have, the Jersey barriers and a gate.
Yeah.
Would be great.
What would be like the next step after that? Where it can you take this to council?
We look
Like-
for funding
Okay.
to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any other questions?
happy to support you recommending the council and anything else here, we'd be happy to support you.
Sure.
I'm sure these issues have come across the mayor's desk, I'm sure.
Oh, there's several other
Yeah.
issues and Public Works is working on one that's similar. As a matter of fact, they're getting a estimate for a gate right now.
Mhm.
And we're working collaboratively with them. Cause I want to glean that information of vendor pricing, things like that. That's the information I can give to Tim. He can then go look for the funding.
And we do need some clarification. There is some funding that comes into the park from the cell tower. But we need to make sure we understand where that money's going and if it is available for projects like this. If it's already factored into our regular budget, if so, how, if not, because that's what we've talked about as a potential funding source. Because it's about 13,000 a year. Yep.
If the cell tower goes down, who do they call?
Right.
Yeah.
The lead man.
They've called the office.
So
Yeah,
I just thinking like,
yeah.
they'll be surprised.
So first step is to clarify the funding and the money.
The
and
support
how-
for us to
Yeah.
move forward. This wasn't a budgeted item
Sure.
No.
necessarily, so I think having
Yes.
the commission see it as something
Yeah.
that needs to be immediately addressed helps.
And can you clarify, where are the signs on this map? So we were talking about signs at the beginning.
Yeah,
saying the
I
park
haven't
is
been there
closed.
recently.
So we have a park rule sign that sits right next to the restrooms. So right. Yeah, right in there. We currently have another park rule sign that is sitting down at the end in the roundabout. We have some no camping, no overnight camping and
Yeah.
things like that at the end, no dumping. So after a while, I'm hoping that some of those can go away and we can reutilize those somewhere else. We do have some signage at the entrance, as gentleman said, so we've got signage up. Now it's a matter of getting somebody to read it.
Yes.
I should do the motion in maybe two parts.
Where are we talking about putting the gate, like exactly?
North of the parking.
For those yellow lines.
Yeah, so just right.
Or it says proposed venture.
No, so this was an old,
It was from, you said 20.
yeah, 2022,
And then
yeah,
okay.
we didn't update it, but I just wanted to. Something.
Is that, so it would be at the Y or before the Y to go up?
No, after the Y,
After the line.
yeah.
So that big rectangular box.
In conjunction where the scout hall is,
Yeah, north of the south.
north of the scout.
Down.
So past,
Just past the parking area.
Yes.
And then,
there's horseshoe pits over there.
Right at the end of the horseshoe pit.
Yeah.
Right.
Where's that? yellow?
Okay.
What's that?
then there's the-
I'm tracking, Yeah.
A gate there.
a little bit past that, okay,
Yeah.
right around there, okay.
General idea.
You're trying to form
I gotta-
a specific
I'm
motion. Yeah.
I didn't serve it.
Yeah.
I got you.
Any other commissioners have any other questions or comments on this?
So I understand where the gate would go. What was the second piece you're talking about?
There's a barrier, to keep folks from driving up here.
Part
If they will come up this and up, this does not connect. This Hartford does not connect to First Street. It comes to a dead end. But it is still paved.
So, and so the Jersey barrier would be.
Right at the start, probably started
People
of
from
this driving
driving
down there and keep people from coming down there. 'Cause I see people that park there every time I.
People can access it by foot, but it would just
Yes.
eliminate vehicle access.
Cause
Yeah.
right now,
To get up in that.
they go up there and it is nice to sit there in the summer when it's hot. I mean, they do find relief,
Yeah.
from where they would normally park, so they're in the shade, but. There's also a lot of trash they leave and then.
So yes, I will move to approve the installation of the new gate and the three barriers.
A second motion.
All right, all in favor of approving this motion as submitted, please say aye. Aye. All right, that motion will pass unanimously. Thank you. Good stuff.
Thank you.
What about, yeah, did we need a separate motion for the Jersey barrier?
He mentioned it in the motion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That shows how awake I am.
Okay, great, good stuff. Next up, we have the Haddon Park ribbon cutting video and updates. Director, please.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Let's. I should have opened this up before there. Sound like you didn't hear that yet. Oh, it's down here. That's weird. Okay. Here. Now that I downsized it, it's probably not showing on. Maybe I need to do it. Okay. I should. We had Miss Silverdale. We had the summer playground kids there playing, running games for kids. Yeah, staff got beat by the kids. So before so where the mayor is, the ladies on both sides of him are granddaughters of Lulu Haddon.
Cool.
That made it to the event, which was super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it. If you didn't make it, you missed it. Yeah. No, I thought it was a really fun event. It was a nice, cool day that day, never predictable weather. But I thought we had a great turnout. We probably had 75 people total or so,
Great.
which was awesome. And a good mix of people from the community, representative from local businesses, from obviously youth, and we had a couple council members there and commission member there. Yeah, I thought it was a great event. Everybody had a good time. Yeah.
I was there in spirit.
Yes.
Yeah, we're still working on the project. Tree planting will happen in September. The restroom was, they came back to paint it the specified colors, and unfortunately got everything right but the roof, so they need to come back. Good times a charm, right? And we're still working with the sales rep on the picnic shelf or picnic tables that we would get the props to. So the tables there are still the temporary tables. So yeah.
Picture of where they delivered it.
Yeah. But people are enjoying the park.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, yeah, we've moved furniture from
It's down.
downtown to the shelter area for people to be able to still use. And we've got 3 benches that just came in that'll get put in different areas of the park, kind of an overlook area, kind of at the far end, and then the third by the basketball court. So yeah, so those will be little bits and pieces here and there as we continue to move forward.
Commissioners, have any questions?
I just wanted to say, today was our patrol day with the BPD, husband and I do it. And we drove by and there was kids playing basketball, they were in the playground, a little
Good.
kid riding his bike on the path all the way around. It looked amazing. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, on Thursday, I don't know what day it is, yeah. Thursday, I'll be meeting with BCAT on site there, and we've been developing a script. So we're gonna do about a 4 to 6 minute video, just kind of talking about the development of the park, how people can get involved as volunteers within our park system, and then that'll be running on BCAT for a while. So that'll be great.
Thanks for those updates. All right, next up, we have Kitsap Lake Park renovation project.
Okay. Love to say we're done. We're not yet. So, I will kind of talk about two different things that we've got going on with Kitsap Lake currently as we move forward with the projects. So first is, so as part of the project, we've always planned to subcontract out the irrigation design for the park. And as we've been partnered with Parametrics to do a lot of our design work at the site, the engineer that is working, or the staff member that's working with us, actually does a lot of landscape work and irrigation design. And so we kind of figured, well, since he's very familiar with the project and we need to move forward, and it's a low enough number that we didn't need to put it out to bid, that we would just retain Parametrics. And so we're going through the process right now. It's essentially a change order to their current agreement. So that's gonna have to go through council process and approval. So they'll see it at their study session on, I keep saying September 9th, but it's September 10th, I guess, which is the Wednesday, and then it'll be approved. There's also, so there's 4 parts to this change order for Parametrics. This is kind of one of the main pieces, is to be able to get the irrigation design done, so then we can get irrigation installed, and then basically go back in and rehydro seed the areas that need seed. Additionally, I'll kind of lead into the other topic. Does anybody have any questions about this? The red means the area that's going to be irrigated. So essentially the entire park. And then the little island here near the accessible boat launch or parking area. We decided, because of the slope, I always hate these when these pop up. We decided, because of the slope of this area, that we're not going to irrigate that. Just because it's gonna be an absolute mess to maintain. And so we're just gonna leave that unirrigated and leave it natural. Everything else through here is obviously pathways, but essentially everything around is gonna be irrigated, even where the playground area is. The design will include irrigation around that.
What's the source of the water for the irrigation?
So it's coming off the city system, and it'll be based out of, I can't remember if it's this building or this, the restroom building is where it'll be coming from.
Is there any existing irrigation?
Yes,
There is, yeah.
there's a 2-inch main line there.
Okay. The area that you're not irrigating, Director, what's there currently? Is that like trees, like shrubbery, like what?
Grass.
It's all grass.
Just
Okay,
grass.
okay,
Grass and pre-established shrubs.
okay.
Yep.
So being able to use Parametrics versus who you thought you were gonna use, are you saving money?
Well, we didn't know who we were gonna use, but we had a budget for the work, and it came in right around what we had budgeted for it. So it's right in that ballpark of what we had planned to spend. And so just briefly, I can kind of show you the different areas. So that's basically part 1. And I wanted to share these with you too, because these will be going through council as well for approval, because of some of the changes in costs. The biggest thing I pointed out to the Parks Finance, Investment, and Parking Committee earlier today, which includes 3 council members, is everything that we're proposing is still within the funding that we have for the overall project. What's going to happen is this second part is going to kind of put us over the top for what council approved last year as the project budget. And so we're just going to have to go back and let them know what the new cost is going to be. But the funding is still there between what was already coming in as revenue, and then the addition of the Department of Commerce grant that we received for $324,000 will help cover the expense. So on the second portion, which I'll show some pictures of, But wanted to just kind of cover that with parametrics first is, we've had, we knew that our slopes were gonna be tough for our stormwater drainage and the runoff area. With the design, there was very little room for error, both in the design, but both in the construction of that. We did have some issues this spring when the rain came in, that we had ponds that were formed. And so we made some changes to that design at that point. Now we're having different issues because, and I'll show you, but basically we took a somewhat flat area and we put a little valley in to be able to channel the water. Well, what we're running into is if someone has their motor down, or if their hitch on their truck is low, they're scraping because it's sending it down and then pushing it back up. But in that downwards, we have had some motors that have scrapes, and you can see it in a picture that I show. So we're looking at redesigning that, building that back up, but putting in basically a metal channel that would catch the water and then send it to where it needs to go, but make it more of a leveled surface, and will help with the accessibility side too, for cutting across from the accessible parking stall to the pathway. So project management for that, the engineering for that portion, and then basically redesigning of it are the other pieces that will be added to the parametrics contract. So their total contract between those and then the irrigation design is about $20,000 additional. So then let's see, so that kind of covers the parametric portion.
Director, the part where you're talking about where motors were scraping, is that from previous? I'm confused on that. Has that portion already been like the asphalt's all new there? And that's a new?
It's all new asphalt. Yep. Yeah, so there's two alternates that we've been considering. And maybe I didn't move the picture over.
So it's maybe kind of an initial design flaw then?
Well, let me quickly just kind of show you another picture. I forgot to move one picture over. Okay, well, I guess I can't access it. But what I was going to show you was a picture of, actually, maybe I got an email. It'll help show you. Here we go. Through technology, we'll get there. This one's a little better because it's further out.
No.
So what
Yeah.
what we're seeing here is, follow my cursor. So this was basically where we went to that second design and tried to make it gradual to be able to put, and you can see obviously the water's channeling where it needs to go, but the problem we're running into is this is either a hitch or that's the blade from the motor is scraping on the back end. Those that use it often they know to come in at an angle or access it differently, but the general user that just doesn't care is just backing up, and then they're hitting that area.
Phone calls and emails over this?
Honestly, the main communication has been from the Kitsap Lake neighborhood group, have been talking to us.
Okay.
And they've seen it, and we've gone out and just kind of watched what's going on there to see what's happening. But yeah, that's really kind of where we received it from.
So it's like higher than a speed bump.
Yeah, I can't remember how much, Colette, I don't know if you remember how much the difference is from the bottom, what the grade difference is.
It was the standard, whatever
Yeah.
the standard stormwater.
Yeah,
berm.
Yeah, it worked for the stormwater, what we were trying to achieve, but given the rigs and seeing some of the feedback that we've been seeing, it's just like, okay, we probably need to make a little tweak to this.
yeah. So one of the first option was to look at, again, creating kind of that metal covered drain channel, bringing everything up to grade and then just running it straight across to here. So it basically collects everything, as you can see here, that kind of channels into that spot. The other option, which I did this earlier. Oh, it's not up there. The other option is to channel it all the way across. Because the other issue we're running into, if you haven't been out there yet, this parking lot is just, it should be like a test site and for someone to say, okay, tell me what to do. Because you could probably come up with a million different answers. So on the kind of more of the north west side, we do already have kind of a berm that we had built by parking stalls that are up front to continue to channel the water this way. But the issue we're running into with that is exiting at this sidewalk and then it's kind of dispersing itself into this planter bed. And so to make it look like a finished product and consistent, option two essentially and intentional, the option two brings it all the way across. And so now it'll catch everything that's coming from this hillside over here as well.
That's better then, right?
Yeah, it costs more,
Oh.
but it's a better long-term
Yeah.
solution. Yeah.
Constraint just the boat engine process, it made the accessibility that the park on the sidewalk to grades for everyone.
Yeah, because it dips down and kind of really connects up real quick. Yeah.
Accessible to get to the accessible boat trailers.
Mhm.
So. it needs to be
But if you can't really see it super close, but this shows you how slight that grade is and how much space we have to get it into this pod is where everything drains into. And so it's pretty much nearly level. There's just a very slight grade difference that we were working with. So yeah, we don't necessarily blame the original design or the construction side of it. It's just it's a tough situation and scenario that we've been put in, and after seeing use of it,
Yeah.
we know that we have an idea that's probably our best solution overall.
What does it look like, the area that we're fixing? I'm confused on, is it get like dug out? Like, how are we gonna correct that?
So what'll happen?
Yeah,
Yeah, so that asphalt will get dug back out. And then essentially yeah, I'm not sure if they'll go back as far.
okay.
But it'll get dug out and then there'll be a little channel that'll be created that the
Water.
the metal piece will be with the lid will be put
And you
into.
wouldn't
Yeah.
have the pump there, it'll be smooth.
Yeah, so it'll pretty much be a direct shot straight in then with no hump. Because we had looked at, do we put a curb in there? Would that help? I mean, the curb design on the other side is okay. It just doesn't look right, but it was really the only option we had to get all the water to where it needed to go.
Is it gouging, like when it is, I mean, those look pretty substantial, are they gouged pretty good? Yeah, they're in there,
Yeah,
you can see. It's
yeah.
not just.
It's hard to tell from
superficial.
here, but yeah, you can kind of
That's
tell like
potential to
here.
rip up that asphalt.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couple of years, you won't have to take it out, it'll all be taken.
Yeah. Yeah, and really the only other issue I've been alerted to is some of the rock that's down here. You get some people that when they're loading their jet boats, they just hit it real hard and then it disperses a bunch of the rock that's meant to be there. And so, yeah, besides signage and other things. Yeah, and we were really confined by the extent of our permits as far as what we can do to what distance. So, yeah,
Good speed camera on the deer,
yeah,
make some money.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what's next in getting
There you
that
go.
corrected, Director? Is that? go to-
So gonna run those two, once we get a concrete price or a secured price for the rebuild of that section.
Yeah.
So we're working with Red Side and who is the contractor at the site. And they've got a couple bids that they're putting together with two potential contractors. One that did the original work and one is a different company that they reached out to. So we'll find out what that is and then get that to council. We're hoping to get secure pricing this week, maybe, I think was the plan. So then I can get it on that September 10th meeting for their study session, and then it would be go for approval on the 17th.
When they do the work, what kind of downtime are we looking at with that boat launch not being built?
I don't know if we know that yet. But we could, yeah, I mean, with asphalt, we'll probably obviously try to, at this point, wait until the majority of the season's over, but before we get into winter
Yeah.
to get the construction done.
Yeah.
I mean, the ramp was down the first month or two of the busier season this year, and they just use the alternate ramps that are at the lake. They don't like them because they like ours the best. But
Typically see those metal frames installed in used to concrete.
yeah, there could be concrete that'll be adjacent to it. Yeah. 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 Yeah, so it's probably gonna be a mix of asphalt and concrete.
Now, is that one of the parks that we shut down that does, we got a gate out there that's.
We do have a
Yeah,
gate
sure.
there. Yep.
Is used, have we seen usage pick up out there quite a bit now?
Since this, oh, it's crazy,
I bet.
crazy busy. Yep. Yeah, very busy.
Fishing pier, derby.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's fun. If you ever get a chance to get out there, it's fun to see how many people are out there. I go and kayak the lake every so often and even 7, 8 AM. It's really kind of fun to see people sitting out there and fishing and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the health district still have no contact on that water right now?
I
No.
have not heard they lifted it. Okay.
Okay.
It was in the paper this last,
Yeah.
All
it
right,
was on in Friday's paper.
cause I
Yeah.
saw the article in the paper about all the work.
It's
you
kind
know,
of fun when
gone
we
into
hear
it,
stuff
and
like
then it
that
shut down.
secondhand
And
too.
I'm like.
Like we had no idea. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but it's back open, good. thank
Yep.
you.
Yeah, you can, yeah. You
Yeah.
can water ski, just not, yeah.
That's county problem.
We've passed it down the road.
Yeah. All right, any commissioners have any other questions or comments on that? All right, let's start. All right, next up, we have this is our amendment to tonight's agenda, and this is the proposed PSC charging station site design.
Cool, good job remembering. So. Okay, so you do have a handout with 2 pages. I kind of figured that those were the most important. The photo is a little bit more difficult to see, so I'll just kind of enlarge it here for you. So we did briefly talk in the past about some conversations we'd been having with PSE, and they wanted to put 2 to 3 charging stations as kind of demos in the community. And so they took some public input. They took staff input. They had a list of 10 sites. They've dwindled it down to 3, and 2 are park locations out of the 3. Yay, parks. So this and Kiwanis Park are the 2 that they're looking at putting them into. And so they're wanting us, they sent this to us, I think end of day Friday. And would like us to review, and we talked internally and thought, well, since we've already discussed this, it'd be great to bring it to the commission if you had any comments. So you can see here, whoops. Come on. You can see here the work zone area. So just to orient yourself, the boat launch is up on the corner here.
Yeah.
Obviously, the boat parking area that's getting properly utilized in whatever map system they use. And so here's, yeah, so here is, they've got the work zone area kind of sectioned off there, just to kind of give you an idea. And there's only certain poles of theirs that they could utilize, and this is one of them. It was their reason for selecting that pole. Here's kind of shows you on the bottom corner what eventually that would look like. So I don't know if you noticed that there looked like there were more stalls than what is shown here for the 2 EV charging stations, and then the pole. So that's probably part of some of the discussion that we want to make sure we have is they would be reducing the number of available parking stalls because of the space that they need for those charging stations. So this shows you what type of signage would go up, EV charging only, signage, just, kind of standard. It just kind of shows you what the charging box looks like. I feel like I keep going too far forward. Yeah, so this is a pay to use. There's no cost to us to install.
Yeah.
It's just a pay to use to the customer.
Yeah.
So it's in a box that's up above that the cord is pulled from and then connected. And I can't remember if there is, so you've got over here, you can see you can pay with a card.
Yeah.
On that slot. I would assume that they might have a phone option, but it might just be card only. Shoot, where was maybe it was back. Oh, there, this is what I was looking for. So essentially, to get to this point, it's gonna take up 4 stalls to get to, is what is the biggest issue that we saw. And I'm not sure if there's really any way for them to get around that or not. Just because of the space. So we're yeah, the net loss is 2. Yeah. It's really 4.
Yeah.
Because they're
So it'll be interesting to see, assuming this moves forward, how often are those spots being utilized? And whether this is a quick charge station, I haven't read in to see if that in detail yet. So whether it's kind of one of the supercharged ones that you can get a full charge in 30 minutes, or whether it's kind of more of a slower charge. I haven't read it. It probably says it in the information. I just haven't had time to read it.
Yeah, that would help when they determine that, because people might be panicking about leaving the market gas.
Sure.
If they got
Oh, yeah, leaving it in time. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think, I would assume the full intent to using a system like this wouldn't be if you're nearly at 0 that you're gonna sit and charge your entire vehicle. It's to charge it enough to get you somewhere else.
The PSC, I mean, this isn't costing us a dime.
It's not costing us a dime.
Yeah.
They're making a dime,
Yeah.
but it's to us, it would be more of like providing a service to the users of the park.
We've been asked for.
There's not a whole lot of public charging stations in Bremerton.
Yeah, I don't even know besides pay lots. I don't think the city has any that we have ourselves right now.
Vehicles only.
Yep.
And then Kitsap Transit has some over on the east side, but
Mhm.
their vehicles only.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, the only city ones I've seen are in the basement of Norton Dix
Yeah,
in the parking lot there.
there's some in the parking garage, I think, for a little enforcement there.
Oh, okay. Yes, for in park.
Hospital
probably.
has some.
Yeah.
Over in Silverdale, but I mean, when you look on your map, it looks like there's a whole bunch.
Sure,
Except
Yep.
except when you drive to one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you had a photo of what it actually looks like. But maybe on a city street, was that it? You know, the full view there.
looking at
On the
like,
right.
like
Yeah.
here.
It's on the right hand side.
So you can pull it down.
That's
from
like the
the
whole
pole.
unit, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they have it attached to the car, which would go in great for the picture.
So there's an existing pole there, is that? there's a-
Yeah, and only
Yeah.
certain poles of theirs they can use.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
that's it. Thank you.
but yeah, so my understanding would be is, I think that you put your card in and then it drops down and provides it to you and then it releases back up once you're done.
Too bad they can't provide a little picnic area that with solar cells on their roof for us.
We could always ask.
Yeah, I'm here to get 2.5 gallons full of
Yeah.
electricity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there any way we can go back? Do this. Less space, I mean, it seems like
Yeah, we can ask if there's any way to reduce.
that, it seems
Yeah.
incredible that we have.
Uh-huh.
We could-
Didn't need this much space. Yeah.
We just use the standard.
Yeah.
Gets that trend, it does have 4 public charging stations. And
Okay.
they're always hard to get to, because, you know, it's like, we've got to plug into our charging stations at a time that aren't energized yet. So,
Mhm.
Trying to find the time to get down there.
Yeah.
We gotta walk home anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's where you're having to charge at.
Yeah, that's where I usually.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just gas. 10 grand for it, and that's
Yeah.
battery.
Yeah.
But it seems like 4 parking spaces is unreal, and if you look at the Kitsap Transit Station, they have 1 space for those little green thing.
Mhm.
But they have 4 spaces and they don't have, they look like regular size spaces. too.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I would just wonder if we can reduce that. Read. But I don't, I. just
Or what
don't
the
know.
reasoning is for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're showing, right there, we're showing 26 feet,
Mm-hmm.
and if our parking spots are 9. What's 3 times?
4.
9?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, I was gonna look and see if they had the full, what,
It's 32 feet right now.
yeah, so I think, yeah, the 32 by 25.
Yeah, what's the,
Yeah.
I'm wondering like what that 5-foot buffer for, I wonder if that's like some
Put it
kind
out
of
there.
code kind of deal, just because of you're running power right there.
Yeah, they might not.
I mean, you got 5-foot buffer in between the spots.
Yeah, I don't see that in other EV spots.
What's a standard parking spot then?
About 9 feet.
9 feet?
And then 8 foot is compact only, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
just seems like,
Like an SUV, and we had 2 of those side by side in there.
Yeah, I
Not
would assume that the thought process is you don't know for sure what size vehicle you have, but
Yeah.
even if you offset them, do you have a larger one and a smaller?
car. I mean, the cars have plug-ins every place. It's in the front, it's the back, it's the left side, it's the
Yeah.
right
The
side.
street, but was because they're trying to center the house.
Yeah, and
There might have been space for buildings that are just-
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause you almost wonder like, this seems like this is nowhere in play or shouldn't be in play. Yeah.
No, those 3 stalls, this immediate restraint.
Yeah. Yeah, we can definitely take that to them and ask them.
Starter.
Yeah.
Install 2 parking stalls, 18 by 12. With a 5-foot separations.
And we already know that parking's tough at Evergreen Park already. We probably need more, but I also hate getting rid of green space for more parking, but
Are there any PSC poles?
I asked, that's what my recommendation was when we first talked about it. And I think the proximity, with the pathway, I wanna say that don't quote me for sure, but I thought they said that they didn't have anything that was in the planter strip. Or they didn't like putting it there. Those would be parallel parking spots, but yeah, that's what my original proposal was. I wasn't sure what they were gonna come back and recommend to us. But they're obviously looking at established parking stalls now.
And you haven't seen the ones for Kiwanis yet? Really?
This is the only one they've sent us.
That's all street.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the thought with Kiwanis, besides the fact that it gets used quite a bit, but there's PSNS right there. That people do park there in that M Park kind of parking area. And so that would be a good spot to put one.
I think that's a good spot, because it's paid,
For sure.
but
Yeah.
this.
This is a public.
Yeah. Okay. No, I appreciate you guys taking a look at it.
And I'd love to see what the parking lot looked like today. I'm sure it was packed up. I'm sure every stall. was
Most
full.
every day, yeah. That wasn't a summer day that was taken.
So do you need anything else from the? from the
Not really.
commission?
No, we're just,
Okay.
they're collecting feedback. We just thought it would be good to run it and let you see it as well.
Yeah.
Not only as, since we've talked about it previously, but, it's something we'd like to see, but we want to make sure it's done correctly.
Yeah, I like just getting more ones
Yep.
for the public, and that's great. Here, I just, charge at home, but when I get to Portland, I need to recharge, but they got
Sure.
a them down there.
Oh, yeah, they're all over.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Where were, Director, where were you thinking about like that for everything? What spot?
So,
do you have in
so the
mind?
original thought we had when we were talking about it at staff would have been, and I can't remember what street that is out there. Yeah, but along the
Russell in
street,
the park.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fourth.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there. Kind of out in front of the pizza joint
Yep,
area
yep.
along the
Yep,
street there.
yep.
Was kind of what my initial thought was.
But they didn't come back. with it.
Park.
Those park?
Oh.
Maybe they didn't have a pool there, Director, or something?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the feedback, and I don't think they were real excited. There was a few spots we looked at, like Lions, we talked about, but because the pole sits up so high, the charging units would have to sit really low. Because there's that big drop from the road down to the parking area.
Yeah.
But that was one of ours that we were hoping that we could look at putting one. But it just didn't work out.
Just so I
as far
understand,
as
this is the
distance.
water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's that little inlet area. It is, yeah.
It's Fremont.
Yeah.
Fremont parking.
I just wonder about impact to elderly people in
Sheldon.
neighborhoods, mobile that just want to drive and park
Sheldon.
and
Sheldon.
look at the view, or
Sure.
I don't know, it looks like it's pretty far away from the playground, yes, so.
Playground's over here. Yeah.
Dragging three kids and
Yeah.
they're. Yeah. Too bad it's not.
Yeah, there's also, and I don't think there's a pole, but there's also that, and light poles don't count. Those wouldn't work well,
Yeah,
or work for what they need. But that little parking area here, yeah, that was another thought,
We do have a transfer.
was to pull it away.
Brian, that picture that you
Yeah.
showed me, are the parking stalls centered? Is that pole centered in between two stalls? Let me get back. I'm almost thinking that's what they want
I
that.
don't think it
I'm,
is.
I'm thinking they want that pole.
Yeah.
Centered in between two of their slots. That's probably what happened.
Yeah, because they're obviously going off of the pre-established parking.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the pole looks like it's about right in the
It's
middle of
all
one of
that.
them.
yeah.
It's right in the middle of one.
It's right in the middle of
Yeah.
the slot.
Yeah.
Where they would want in the middle of the.
That's better.
Yeah, okay. So they just take the space, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Commissioner, but I. Spots. Yeah, that.
I agree, though, they could. they could still widen this by a foot on either side, still have a pathway there and be able to use either side of those, I would think.
Sure.
But they would know more than I do.
Yeah.
So would losing 3 spots be acceptable?
Great. I mean,
They're
my opinion
more
on it would
valuable
be
than
yes.
4.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
better than 4.
If we could get one back.
Three
yeah.
is better than 4.
Yeah. So the Parks Department is the one that's gonna be putting in charging stations more than the city. I mean, the
So we're not,
city-
so this is city.
Yeah.
City, but
Um,
it's not parks. It's
So
in the park.
it's in the park, but it's a city site. So we looked at city sites
Okay,
and they felt that our 2 parks were 2 of the top 3. And I think there's a spot downtown they were looking at as well, but they felt that the most utilization they'd get would be at these locations.
We were gonna install meters at each of those spots so the parking
Yeah.
department could generate some revenue.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm not up to date on all the charging systems. Are they like universal?
No,
Is
this
that
So,
like
yeah,
Tesla?
different.
is,
Is that its own thing?
it's becoming the standard though. They do have the home. People that have Teslas have adapters that go to the other plug.
Yeah.
Our cars, the other plug, that's some J something. Yeah. Do they need a meter? Interesting.
But they've got to come off of the pole for some-
Any other questions on your?
Yeah, it's a particular pole. Yeah, not it, but
Yeah, that is interesting. Thank you for bringing that, Director. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Those. All right, let's move into new business. We have a pros plan, chapter 4.
Okay, we're coming close. We are, if you're looking at it and being like, hey, we did 4 last month. Yeah, we did. But there was some information that was missing last month. And so we wanted to be able to bring that back to you. Just so you kind of had more of a final version of it. Let's see. Chapter 4. So I'll also put the actual version on the screen up here, so then you can kind of see it of what we're looking at. So 4 was our needs analysis, where we went through kind of our levels of service standards, the parks within a certain, walking, driving distance within neighborhoods, our 10-minute walk campaign. And so really what we were looking at is updating the park metrics. And so this was some of the information that we hadn't entered information since 2020, so needed to go in and get some information added in there. And I initially entered it as 2025 and there wasn't a whole lot of comparables at that point. So then I just copy and pasted it into 2024 because everybody, for the most part, had already entered everything from last year. And so that's what gave us what's in the Excel spreadsheets that you have now. So just wanted to provide that to you. We don't really need to have a whole lot of conversation on it, but again, it just kind of gives you comparables. Just as note on that first page, previously, NRPA broke out a couple of these sections into what the lower quartile, the median, and then the upper. Now some of them, they just chose to just give you what the median was. And so that's why there's kind of grayed out shaded areas. But then, and on like the second page, a number of them do have the lower, middle, and upper, just to kind of show you as a comparison. And I'll kind of tell you a little bit, besides, we broke out a few options just to kind of give you an idea. Like, for example, facilities, we have 2 buildings we operate at 38,000 square feet. Comparable to the median, which was 40,000 square feet. But typically, a community our size for population has 3 to 4 buildings with that square footage, as opposed to 2. So maybe they have a much smaller community center. They may have a separate, I didn't count the pool as a facility because we don't operate it, but it is ours. So we could have been above that, but yeah, just kind of some interesting kind of comparables. Those are some of the things you can make assumptions on as they have you know, maybe a youth center that's smaller. And their rec center is a smaller size as well. But yeah, kind of some interesting information, and I'd be happy down the road to dig into this a little bit more once we're through the pros plan. And we can kind of get into further detail. But it is kind of interesting to look at, you know, where are our services as far as our department's budget and expenditures versus the Northwest and nationally. And it kind of seems like there are some trends in the Northwest of maybe some smaller parks, as opposed to nationally, some communities, and we're looking at 20 to 50,000. So we're kind of just almost at that upper cusp of that population area. But a lot of the communities within our size nationally, you know, you look at their total number of acres. So yeah, here's a kind of a good example is, you know, and it's just kind of broken out into different ways, but 292 in the lower quartile was 470, 437. So as far as number of parks, we're towards the top, but our acreage is below the bottom. And so that shows you that we have a lot of small parks. With that, those of us that, you know, look at these types of things tells you, you know, we have more parks, they're smaller, we're transitioning from one place to the next probably more often, so we're probably not as efficient because we have our acreage spread out in further areas as opposed to one or a couple larger parks where we may have full-time staff that are there at all times. So that's kind of one of those assumptions you can look at. And here's another interesting one too, you know, our non-park sites. So those are essentially sites smaller, you know, our fountain type parks. So like Harborside would be considered one of those. We're definitely over what the upper is because of these smaller areas that we're maintaining that other communities aren't necessarily doing. All of their features are within designated areas. So really kind of interesting kind of interesting information. But yeah, if you want to take a look at that, and if you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask me. Be happy to answer them.
And these are 2024 then.
Yeah, essentially 2024. Yeah. Yeah, the Northwest comparables is 2025.
Okay.
So the 11 from there. And then I haven't had to put my glasses on yet, but 226 maybe for the national. So there's quite a few examples that are there for that. And then the other one that we discussed, the other page that we didn't have in this section last month that came out of discussion was how do we address our houseless population? And so we thought creating a page for it made sense. And so it's found within this chapter within the needs analysis now. So we have a full page on it, and then on the bottom, you know, a description of the partner we have with Common Street to show that the city's entered into a contract with an organization that helps us with addressing the anti-camping ordinance and responding to citizen staff reports, situations that they encounter, and trying to connect individuals with resources. So hopefully this is what we wanted to see when we kind of talked about it. At least that we get it in there so we know it's addressed. And not that we have a million solutions yet at all, but maybe in 6 years we will. But at least that it makes it into the pros plan. So this is a new page. But yeah, if you have any questions on that at all, please let me know. And apologize for getting it to you today, but you've got it. You got it now.
The 11 people that it mentions, are those 11, we're talking full-time employees, or is that?
Yes.
Okay, that's not, we don't seats in the lot.
No, I think that's just, You're full-time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, so that's what we have for the update to chapter
All
4.
right. Any commissioners have any other questions or comments on board? All right. Next up is number 5.
Number 5, our last chapter to review. And expected sharing or something. Yeah. Yeah. So really within this section, obviously our action plan, how do we take all the information that we've gathered from the public over the last almost year and equate it into projects moving forward? And I'll show it up on the screen a little bit better, but just kind of wanted to walk through the chapter first. So we have our 6-year capital facilities plan. So within this, these are our proposed from staff. So definitely take some time to look at it if you haven't already. But highlighted some areas that we felt needed to be kind of focal points, even though some of them may fall under a medium priority as opposed to a high, but we still feel like there needs to be some attention drawn to them. And then the 20-year capital plan, we really reduced the 20-year down, partly because we felt like we can adapt with our 6 years, but didn't want to have too many different things listed on the 20-year, or we may have had like 3 or 4 items that were related to the community center, when in reality, the community center, we have noted our proposal is to do a feasibility study. So if we're recommending the feasibility study to decide what is the longest and best use of this site and for our department moving forward, we should probably hold off on doing 20-year plans for the building if we may choose a different route. So that's kind of some of the thought process in it. Some of the items, especially like in the 20-year plan, those aren't necessarily in order of priority, but items that we feel need to be addressed and we've looked at, and are parks that just haven't really seen much effort or funds being able to be put towards them. And so that's really kind of what we want to look at as far as our direction moving forward. Then the next few pages really just kind of talks about some capital project funding options. Most of these stayed pretty consistent. I think we may have had a couple that dropped off that aren't funding sources anymore and picked up another 1 or 2. But it really is just kind of a general explanation and the full scope of the PROS plan as far as where we look for matching fund options for when we're looking at grants or partner agencies. So. Yeah, I didn't necessarily plan to walk through all of these, but if we want to, we can.
I don't.
But obviously, some of the items that we've seen come out of the surveying, I don't think pump track was in there before. There are some items that we've looked at and discussed, like most recently talking with, roller skating was something that came up, and in the last 6 years is when we lost the roller rink. So that was something that people wanted to see addressed. We're not necessarily, our department is necessarily in the business of indoor specialized facilities, but definitely feel that it's something that's deficient in the community and maybe needs to be addressed by a private business venture. And that's kind of, in some of our discussions, there are items like that. There's projects too that we could potentially incorporate, roller derby, outdoor practice area for roller derby, or for a great example is the bike polo. I'm working on a project. It's kind of tied with, well, really kind of tied and the funding's tied through related to the FIFA World Cup coming to the region. But this is a private foundation that's putting funds together for essentially soccer sport courts. But at the same time, it could be something that we separately fundraise for and are able to put padded walls up or walls up for that could be utilized for bike polo. So it's a soccer facility that's on an asphalt surface or concrete surface meant for soccer, but we can adapt it to be able to make it multi-use. And that's really, I think, how we're going to be able to address some of those additional needs is we're looking at multi-function facilities until there can be standalone.
Yeah.
We just need Kenny to come back with 2,000 bikers and $10 million. But yeah, so if something's not specifically addressed, it is within summaries of the surveying that we did and everything else, so.
Director, in the 20-year, I see, President forested properties. I'm not familiar with that.
The old watershed.
Yeah. That is a really good question. So there is is it a public works well or a lift station that's out there? The Tracyton
Yeah.
forested property.
yeah.
Used to be.
And did we decide that it's on a hillside? We haven't gone out to visit it.
Okay.
In talking with it, because it's been on there. We want to go out and take a site visit and see what the reality is of making it a forested,
It's hard to access.
pathway system, yeah.
And it's in the city limits?
Yeah. Well,
It's in the
It's
urban growth boundary.
It's got the potential.
I mean,
Yeah, it's one that council had conversations about a few months ago when looking at because it's within an area that the city provides city services to,
Yeah.
but they don't pay taxes
Got it.
to, but they basically pay 1.5 times a residential rate for it to make up the difference.
Is it quite a big property? I'm not familiar with that at all.
Yeah, we don't identify it as actual park
Yeah.
of ours.
Oh, yeah.
Is it not? Is it?
Public Works, yeah.
Okay.
when are you gonna go hiking there?
What's that?
When are you gonna go?
I don't know, whenever.
Call me.
You wanna go?
Yeah,
Okay,
that'd be fun.
as long as we got cell phone and GPS, we gotta find our way out.
That's right. Just keep going downhill.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah.
Go towards the sound, yeah.
There's still a Tracy port.
Yes,
There's electric port still.
yeah, there is.
I wonder if we could do a combined project. Get some monies.
They actually tried to annex, part of East Bremerton that included lines. Over the boat launch, yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's an address for it.
They weren't interested.
So if I pulled it up on here, would you know where it's at?
It's
The Tracy in here.
I'm sure, it's sure.
This forested area.
That portion.
Right,
It's not in the.
right on the curve, right in here.
Here.
Yeah, I think that's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
40 acre
Where
block.
we at?
Yeah, I think it's a
Yeah,
40 acre
yeah,
block.
so that's the Public Works facility there. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, Nantucket.
Yeah. So they're-
Okay, it's adjacent to the, okay, I know where I'm at. Okay, I'm tracking. Yeah, you're close to the city limits over there. Close.
Oh,
Inevitable.
It's a big chunk of property.
it is, yeah.
And what is that? You say that water or something?
Yeah, I can't remember if they have a well there or it's a reservoir.
okay, there's 41 Tracyton acres, has separate parcel with reservoir 16
Wow.
within this parcel.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's west of Pine and south of Rydell, and it is owned by utility.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's really a good way to get into. I like walk.
That would bumper it.
Is it pretty sloped, Colette?
Yeah. It's.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fund ownership actually came from,
Cool.
So is it fenced?
Nothing so. Cause I walked in.
I was gonna say.
It, yeah,
Interesting.
It seems like a
just
potential.
said-
there's kind of like
Somebody to move in.
Good to me.
I know, yeah, I see where you're going.
Yeah,
Okay.
that Nantucket, those are newer homes right there. Back lived into it. Okay. Interesting. Thank you for showing me that.
Yeah.
I had never seen that at all. Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah. Dropping knowledge on me. Okay. Any other
Go-
commissioners have any other
Go for
questions? or
trivia
comments
night
on
somewhere locally.
Chapter 5?
Mhm.
Yeah, good. No, great stuff.
So, moving from there. Next month, our plan is to work, I say our, but well, that's gonna be gone next week. So my plan is to start getting the appendices all put together. And hopefully by mid-September, because yeah, she's been working on getting photos updated, quotes updated, and then we'll renumber things with some different pages. We've dropped pages, added pages, but hopefully get a good draft version to you. Try to get it to you at least 10 days, maybe 2 weeks before our next meeting for you to kind of take a look at it. We know it's a lot of information, but we've also walked through the entire process. So hopefully you don't have any, there's nothing glaring that you might see there. But the plan, yeah, to get it to you by mid-month next month. And then really at our next meeting is when we'll need the commission to be able to vote on adopting the draft plan. So then we can move it on through the review process. And then eventually and so we'll make it public too at that point. So it'll be online for people to be able to view and review, probably sectioned it out by chapters. So then it's easier for them to walk through the pages. And then December 3rd, go in front of council with our public hearing. So then they can take any last public comments regarding it. Council will have as well mid-September until December for their own review and to look at. And to provide any comments or thoughts to me that they have. And then their adoption would be December 17th at their last meeting for the year, is what the plan is. So,
Good stuff. All right, thank you.
yeah. Yeah, with that said, my next piece is our memberships. So we're a 7-member commission. And I'm telling myself it is nothing related to all the work you've had to put in this last year. But not everybody's gonna be with us through the rest of the year. Ken Riley did submit his resignation yesterday. So he has, I'm sure he's got plenty of other things it's been hard for him to be able to make our meetings, and I appreciate him stepping up and letting us know that. With that, we have technically 2 positions open as of today. Our 2, I don't know if, I'm sure that you didn't get a call or anything sent to, no balloons sent to you. But you did get reappointed. And then Jim's term will be up at the end of September. And so he has chosen to not continue. He didn't say anything bad about anybody, so. And then Amy is in the process of relocating. And so I have forced her to commit. And forced her to commit through December. Just in case we're needed, but really come the end of December. And I'm not forcing her to leave at that point, but really at that point, we'll be at four current members for October through December. And so we need to do some recruiting.
Sure.
So if you know of anybody, I talked to at our PFIP meeting earlier today, so the Parks Finance Investment. I talked to the director. Every meeting I'm going to be going to until we get more members. I'm just going to be promoting and talking about what we're doing. My original plan was hopefully to, when we're replacing positions, kind of wait till January when the new pros plan is in place. So they're not coming in at the very last minute, but really once we get this plan, the draft adopted by the commission, I'm happy to, kind of bring people on at that point. I just didn't want anybody having to come in midstream. So there's Ken, let's see, Ken's position. So there's really kind of three options for those that are gonna, if people are looking to fill current vacancies. One is gonna be a completion of the last year of a term. So if someone is interested but doesn't want to, isn't sure how long they want to commit, we will have one position that's for a year. We'll have one that'll be 2, that's Ken's position, and then we'll have one that hasn't been filled in a while that'll end up being a 3-year term. So those are options, which will be nice to be able to offer up to people. But yeah, if you know anybody out there that's interested,
Applications on the city website.
applications on the city website. We'll be doing some internal promotions through social media
Awesome.
and then on the city website too, specifically for this
Maybe
commission.
count the city council members.
Yeah, and that's
I
so,
like the
yeah.
idea about them doing some recruiting.
for sure. Yeah, and so I did to 3 of them today
Good.
at a meeting earlier today, but I'll do it next week when I'm talking about Kitsap Lake. I'll say, oh, by the way,
Good.
yeah, so anytime I'm with the council, I'll make sure that we are,
Cause I like having it distributed throughout the city.
it's really, yeah, really nice. Yeah, it's nice to have a good mix. Not like we're opposed to somebody that has a particular interest area, but which is great, but we also want people that want to see, positive things happen in the community. So
Thank you for that plug.
Yeah. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
not that I need to sell it to you guys, but
All right, last up, we have commissioners' comments. Commissioner Weigel, we'll start with you.
I want to say thank you for letting me stay on. I was terrified when I first came on because I didn't know squat. I just had my love and passion for Bremerton. And I knew that giving back is how you keep your community strong and going. And I've learned so much. I appreciate you guys and all your work you do. Thank you so much. And I look forward to, is it 3 years? Or
3.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Warren?
Well, I will say it again, when I let Tim know I'm relocating out of the country. And that it didn't seem feasible for me to continue. He said, well, you've been involved in the reworking of our plan. Could you stay on till December? And I am not leaving Bremerton completely. I will be coming back occasionally, but I was so pleased that you wanted me to stay, and it allows me to feel connected. And I would just, mirror what you were saying as somebody who's very new to Bremerton, to get involved with the Parks and Recreation Committee, just opened the community to me. And it's amazing what you learn and the people you meet. And this is an incredible city. And their employees are as well, in particular in the arts department.
Yeah.
So, that's just my very word comment. I did have a question though, back to the issue with Forest Ridge Park. So Tim secured a spot for Parks and Rec to participate on the Finance Committee. Is there a lot of communications with the Public Safety Committee? Because it's really an issue of both. So I know that the police department is very involved in providing updates there, but their priority for communicating what's happening and what the impact is in relation to public safety may be different. You know, what's happening in Forest Ridge, for example, might be 30th in the list of things that they need to go through. So I wondered if there was, because different council members are on different committees, if you feel like there's enough.
That's
communication
that's a
between the
really
two.
good point. I mean, on the side, Brian is on a couple different committees with representatives from police, fire. I obviously interact regularly with the police and fire chief. But having us present on whether it's concerns or things we've shown you, might be a good idea for that safety committee, because oftentimes on
Just
PFIP.
this one page.
Yeah,
will
oftentimes on
astound them.
PFIP,
Yeah.
we'll have Public Works or other departments that are presenting because they're applying for grants or other things that are funding related, but there definitely could be some crossover. We're just so new, we hadn't really discovered or thought about to what extent could we take our show on the road? But I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
And I
Just
think what we
looking at
wanted to
that.
start with was something at this level. And getting the buy-in of all the commissioners. So we have that to present. Now this will open the doors for us to be able to go to the police and be able to go to the fire and say, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing. We're gonna need to order a Knox box, something like that. So this gets the wheels going. So that's a good thing.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah, no, that's a great comment.
Commissioner McDonald?
Nothing tonight.
All right. Commissioner Dawson?
I think I've said enough. I just want to thank everybody that's been involved in Forest Ridge. That's, you really do on the park. I mean, I love when neighborhoods and a neighborhood adopts a park and feels like it's part of theirs. I love that.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, I don't have anything. Meeting adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
Writing comment, I didn't know that the board.
Yeah, we're in society.
Down further.